Part 1. The Collision of Past and Present. Victoria Reed straightened the papers on her desk for the third time that morning, her fingers trembling slightly. The email had arrived at midnight, brief and corporate, announcing that Thornfield Financial Group had been acquired. 24 hours later, the entire staff sat in the main conference hall, waiting to meet their new leadership. She glanced at Rachel, her closest friend at work, who gave her a reassuring smile. Rachel had been there through everything: the pregnancy, the sleepless nights, the struggle to balance motherhood with climbing the corporate ladder. Victoria had worked tirelessly for 6 years, starting as a junior analyst and earning her current position through dedication and countless sacrificed weekends. The double doors opened, and Jessica from Human Resources entered with a confident smile. Behind her walked a man who made Victoria's heart stop completely. Damien Blackwood moved with the easy confidence of someone who owned every room he entered. His charcoal suit fit perfectly across broad shoulders, and his dark hair was styled with casual precision. But it was his eyes, those intense blue eyes, that sent Victoria's world spinning. She gripped the armrest of her chair as memories flooded back. 5 years dissolved in an instant, and she was 22 again, attending a charity gala where she had accidentally spilled wine on a stranger's jacket. That stranger had laughed instead of getting angry. They had talked for hours, sharing dreams and fears with the ease of old friends. When he invited her to continue their conversation somewhere private, every logical thought had abandoned her. That night had been magic, pure, unexpected magic. They had connected on a level Victoria had never experienced before or since. Damien held her like she was precious, kissed her like she was the only woman in existence, and made love to her with a passion that left them both breathless and laughing. Afterward, wrapped in expensive hotel sheets, he traced patterns on her shoulder and whispered about how meeting her felt like destiny. Victoria had fallen asleep feeling complete for the first time in her life. She woke to cold, empty sheets and devastating silence. No note, no message, no explanation. Just the hollow ache of abandonment and the growing realization that she had been nothing more than a conquest for a wealthy man amusing himself for an evening. 2 weeks later, the pregnancy test showed 2 pink lines that changed everything. Now, watching Damien take the podium, Victoria felt fury and fear warring inside her chest. He began speaking about vision, growth, and exciting opportunities. His voice was the same, deep and commanding, with an underlying warmth that had drawn her in completely. Then his gaze swept across the audience and landed directly on her. Damien froze mid-sentence. His eyes widened with unmistakable recognition, and color drained from his face. The polished CEO vanished, replaced by a man who looked like he had seen a ghost. He stammered, completely losing his train of thought, unable to look away from Victoria. The conference room fell into uncomfortable silence. People shifted in their seats, confused by their new CEO's sudden inability to function. Jessica stepped forward with concern, but Damien waved her back, his eyes never leaving Victoria's face. Rachel leaned close and whispered urgently, "Victoria, why is he staring at you like that? Do you know him?" Victoria could not answer. Her throat had closed completely. She watched emotions flash across Damien's face: shock, confusion, something that looked almost like pain, and then determination. He cleared his throat and somehow continued his presentation, though his delivery lacked the earlier confidence. Victoria barely heard the words. Her mind raced with questions and scenarios, each more terrifying than the last. Did he recognize her? Would he acknowledge what happened? What would he do when he learned about Noah? Noah, her beautiful, brilliant 5-year-old son who had Damien's blue eyes, his sharp intelligence, and the same tiny dimple in his left cheek when he smiled. Noah who asked every week why he did not have a daddy.
2. "It really is you," Damien said, his voice rough with emotion. "Victoria Reed. I searched for you. After that night, I tried everything to find you, but you had disappeared completely." Anger flared hot and bright in Victoria's chest. "I disappeared? That is rich, coming from the man who vanished while I was sleeping. No note, no explanation, nothing but humiliation," and she stopped herself, not ready to reveal Noah's existence. Damien's face twisted with regret. "I know how it looked, and I have regretted it every day since. But you need to understand what happened. That morning, I received an emergency call. My father had a massive heart attack. I left immediately for the hospital without thinking about anything except getting there in time. He died 3 hours later." Victoria felt her anger waver slightly. "You could have called, sent a message, something. I lost your number in the chaos. I only knew your first name. I went back to the hotel, but they would not give me information about guests. I hired investigators, but Victoria Reed is a common name, and without more details, we found nothing. I thought about you constantly, wondering what might have been if that morning had gone differently." Victoria studied his face, seeing genuine remorse in his eyes. Part of her wanted to believe him, to think that night had meant something to him too. But 5 years of struggling alone had built walls around her heart. "It does not matter now," Victoria said quietly. "That was a long time ago. We have both moved on with our lives." "Have we?" Damien stepped closer, his eyes searching hers. "Because I never forgot you, Victoria. That night changed something in me. Meeting you again cannot be coincidence." Victoria's phone buzzed with a text from Claire. "Noah is asking when you'll be home. He wants to show you the picture he drew at school." Noah. Always Noah. Everything she did was for her son. Damien noticed her distraction. "Is everything all right?" Victoria looked up at this man who had given her the greatest gift of her life without knowing it. She had a choice to make. She could walk away, keep her secret, protect Noah from potential disruption, or she could tell the truth and risk everything she had built. "I need to talk," Victoria heard herself say. "But not here, not now. There are things you need to know about what happened after you left." Damien's expression turned serious. "Whatever it is, we will face it together. I am not disappearing again, Victoria. Not this time. Give me a chance to prove that I am not the man you think I am." Part 2. Truth Unveiled. Victoria sat in the corner booth of the small coffee shop 3 blocks from the office, her hands wrapped around a cup of tea that had long since gone cold. Damien sat across from her, his expensive suit looking out of place in the modest neighborhood establishment. She had chosen this location deliberately, neutral ground where they would not be interrupted by colleagues. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," Damien said softly. His confidence from the conference room had been replaced by cautious vulnerability. "I meant what I said earlier. I have thought about you constantly over the past 5 years. Victoria studied his face, looking for deception and finding only earnest emotion. "You said your father died that morning. I am sorry for your loss, but you have to understand what you leaving did to me. I woke up feeling like I had experienced something extraordinary, and within hours I felt like the biggest fool alive." Damien reached across the table, stopping just short of touching her hand. "I should have found a way to contact you. There is no excuse that makes what happened acceptable. My father's death sent my life into chaos. He had been the CEO of our family business, and suddenly I was thrust into that role while grieving." The next months were consumed with board meetings, legal issues, and trying to keep the company stable. But none of that justifies not trying harder to find you. Victoria took a shaky breath. This was the moment. Once she spoke the words, there would be no taking them back. Damien, there is something you need to know. Something that happened because of that night. His eyes sharpened with attention. Go on. 2 weeks after you left, I discovered I was pregnant. Victoria watched the color drain from Damien's face, watched understanding and shock war across his features. I have a son. His name is Noah. He just—
Tell me about him, Damien said urgently. Please, tell me everything. A smile touched Victoria's lips, despite the tension. He is brilliant, curious about everything. He asks a million questions about how things work, why the sky is blue, where stars come from. He loves building blocks and can spend hours creating elaborate structures. He is gentle with animals and other children. He has your eyes, Damien, that same intense blue. And when he smiles, he has this dimple on his left cheek, just like yours. Damien's hands trembled as he pulled out his phone. Can I see a picture, please? Victoria hesitated only briefly before opening her photo gallery. She selected a recent picture of Noah at the park, his dark hair windblown, his blue eyes bright with laughter as he hung from the monkey bars. She passed the phone across the table. Damien stared at the screen with complete focus. A tear rolled down his cheek as he traced Noah's face with one finger. He is beautiful. He looks so much like my father, like me at that age. Victoria, His voice broke. I have a son. I know this is overwhelming, Victoria said gently, but I need you to understand something. Noah is my entire world. Everything I have done for the past 5 years has been for him. I have worked impossible hours, sacrificed my own needs, and built a stable life for us. I will not let anything disrupt that stability. I will not let him be hurt. Damien looked up sharply. You think I would hurt him? Victoria, I just found out I have a child. All I want is to be part of his life, to make up for the years I have missed. You are a billionaire CEO who can afford the best lawyers in the country, Victoria said bluntly. You could take him from me if you wanted. You could claim I kept him deliberately. Understanding dawned on Damien's face, followed by something that looked like pain. Is that what you think of me? That I would try to take your son? Our son? I do not know what to think. I do not really know you, Damien. We spent one night together 5 years ago. Everything else is unknown. Damien leaned forward with intensity. Then let me show you who I am. Let me prove that I am not a threat to you or Noah. I do not want to take him away. I want to be part of his life, part of both your lives if you let me. Please, Victoria, give me a chance. Victoria felt her walls beginning to crack. She had built them so carefully, protecting herself and Noah from disappointment and pain. But looking at Damien's face, seeing genuine emotion and desperate hope, she found herself wanting to believe him. This has to be done carefully, Victoria said slowly. Noah does not know anything about you. He asks about his father sometimes, and I have told him you live far away. I will not have him hurt by an inconsistent parent who drifts in and out of his life. I understand. Whatever you need, whatever timeline you set, I will follow it. I will not rush this or push too hard. But Victoria, I am not going anywhere. I am committed to being a real father to Noah, not just someone who sends birthday gifts. I want to be there for school plays and bedtime stories and everything in between. They talked for hours, working through details and concerns. Damien shared stories about his own childhood, his relationship with his father, the values he wanted to pass to Noah. Victoria explained her routines with Noah, his likes and dislikes, the carefully structured life she had built. Finally, they agreed on a plan. Damien would meet Noah as a friend first, someone Victoria worked with. They would have casual meetings in public spaces where Noah felt comfortable. As Noah grew accustomed to Damien's presence, they would slowly reveal the truth in age-appropriate ways. "Can I see him soon?" Damien asked as they prepared to leave. "Even just from a distance? I need to see him with my own eyes." Victoria thought about Claire's text earlier. "Noah likes to play at Riverside Park on Saturday mornings. We go there around 9. You could happen to be there, maybe jogging or just walking. We would have to make it seem natural." "I will be there," Damien promised. "Thank you, Victoria, for telling me, for giving me this chance. I know I don't deserve it, but I swear I will not let you down, either of you." The following Saturday, Victoria watched Noah race toward the playground, his laughter carrying across the park. She had dressed carefully, trying not to look like she was expecting anyone. Her heart pounded as she saw a familiar figure jogging along the path. Damien slowed to a walk as he approached the playground, wearing casual clothes that made him look younger and more approachable. Their eyes met briefly, and Victoria gave a small nod. He moved toward the bench near the swings.
4. As Noah ran back toward the ladder, he noticed Damien sitting nearby. With the fearless curiosity of childhood, Noah walked right up to him. "Hi, are you tired from running?" Victoria's breath caught as she watched Damien's face transform with emotion. He smiled gently at his son. "A little tired, yes. What is your name?" "I am Noah. I am 5 years old. Do you like playgrounds?" "I do," Damien said, his voice thick. "I used to love playgrounds when I was your age. Is that your mom over there?" Noah glanced back at Victoria and nodded. "That is my mama. She works really hard. Sometimes she is tired, but she always plays with me anyway. She sounds like a wonderful mama." "She is the best mama in the whole world," Noah said with complete certainty. "Do you have kids?" The question hung in the air. Damien looked at Victoria, who had moved closer. Their eyes met, and she saw the longing and hope in his expression. "Not yet," Damien said softly, "but I hope to someday. Someone very special just came into my life." Noah smiled. "That is good. Everyone should have someone special. I have Mama and Grandma Claire. We are a family." "Family is the most important thing," Damien agreed. "Noah, would you like to be friends? I am new to this neighborhood, and I do not know many people yet." Noah's face lit up. "Sure, friends are good. Mama says we should always be kind to new people. Do you want to play on the swings?" Victoria watched as her son and his father walked toward the swings together, Noah chattering happily about school and his favorite subjects. Damien listened with complete attention, occasionally glancing back at Victoria with an expression of pure wonder. Over the following weeks, these chance meetings continued. Damien became a regular presence at the park, always friendly, never pushing too hard. Noah grew comfortable with him, excited to see his new friend. They played catch, built sandcastles, and shared snacks. Damien learned Noah's favorite color, his fear of thunder, and his dream of becoming an astronaut. During this time, Victoria and Damien also met privately. They talked about their lives, their dreams, the people they had become. Victoria found herself genuinely enjoying his company, rediscovering the connection that had drawn them together years earlier. Damien showed her the man behind the CEO facade, someone thoughtful, funny, and deeply committed to being a good father. One evening, after Noah had gone to bed, Victoria and Damien sat on her apartment balcony. "I think it is time," Victoria said quietly. "Noah asks about you constantly.
He talks about his friend Damien all the time. I think we should tell him the truth." Damien reached for her hand, and this time, Victoria did not pull away. "Are you sure?" "No," Victoria admitted. "I am terrified. But Noah deserves to know his father. And you deserve to be known as his father, not just a friend." They planned carefully, deciding to tell Noah together. The following Saturday, they went to the park as usual. Afterwards, they returned to Victoria's apartment. Noah settled between them on the couch, sensing something important was happening. "Noah, sweetheart, Victoria and I need to tell you something very special." Noah looked between them with wide blue eyes. "What is it?" Damien took a shaky breath. "Noah, you know how you have asked your mama about your daddy, about why he was not here with you?" Noah nodded solemnly. "Well, the truth is, your daddy was not far away like your mama told you. Your daddy did not know about you. But now he does, and, Noah," Damien's voice cracked with emotion, "I am your daddy. I am so sorry I missed the first years of your life, but I promise I will be here for all the years to come."
Noah stared at Damien, processing this information. Then he looked at Victoria. "Damien is my daddy? Really?" "Yes, sweetheart. Really." Noah's face scrunched up with confusion. "But why did you not know about me? Where were you?" "That is a complicated story for when you were older," Damien said gently. "But the important thing is that I am here now, and if it is okay with you, I would love to be your daddy, not just your friend." Noah was quiet for a long moment. Then he climbed into Damien's lap and looked up at him seriously. "Will you leave again?" The question broke Damien's heart. "Never. I promise you, Noah. I am staying. I am going to be here for everything. Your birthday parties, your school events, when you're sick, when you're happy. Everything." Noah studied his face, then smiled, that dimpled smile that was pure Damien. "Okay, you can be my daddy." Then he threw his arms around Damien's neck. Damien held his son for the first time, knowing who he was, tears streaming down his face. Victoria cried too, watching them together, feeling pieces of her carefully guarded heart softening. The months that followed were an adjustment. Damien moved to an apartment near Victoria's, insisting on being close but respecting boundaries. He attended Noah's school events, learned to braid hair, mastered bedtime stories. Noah flourished with his father's attention, his world expanding to include this new, important person. Victoria and Damien navigated co-parenting with surprising ease. Their old connection deepened into something stronger, built on shared purpose, mutual respect, and genuine care. They began having dinners together as a family, creating new traditions. One evening, as they tucked Noah into bed together, their son looked up at them with sleepy eyes. "Are we a real family now, like my friends have?" Victoria and Damien exchanged glances. "Yes, sweetheart, we are a real family." "Good," Noah yawned. "I love you both." "We love you too," they said in unison. As they stood in the hallway afterward, Damien turned to Victoria. "Thank you for giving me this chance, for trusting me with our son. You could have kept him from me and I would never have known. But you did the harder thing, the right thing." Victoria smiled. "You were right that day in the coffee shop. Meeting again was not coincidence. I think it was meant to happen. We were meant to find our way back to each other, to give Noah the family he deserves." Damien reached up, gently tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. "And what about us? Is there a chance for us too?" Victoria's heart raced. She had been wondering the same thing, feeling the growing attraction between them. She said carefully, "I think that we should find out, slowly, with no pressure or expectations, just two people, getting to know each other while raising their son.
I can work with that, Damien said, smiling. I have waited 5 years already. I can be patient for something this important. They stood in the hallway, the soft glow from Noah's nightlight illuminating their faces, and both felt it, the sense of rightness, of pieces finally falling into place. Their story had begun with one mistake, one night, and 5 years of separation. But now, finally, they were writing a new chapter together, a story of second chances, of truth unveiled, and of love that had been waiting patiently to bloom. The end.